Let's go ahead and get started. Looks like we're connecting. All right. We go ahead and hit the go live button. How y'all doing, people? Shout out where you're from. Shout out where you're from. Good to see everybody. Where are you from? Let's get into it. Just trying to make sure everything is set up here. So I think you can see me. Can you hear me? You should be able to hear me pretty good. Hey, from London, from the UK. We got all our UK people in here. Good to see you, UK people. From Texas. How you doing from Texas? Czech Republic. I've always wanted to go to Czech Republic. Florida. South Africa. Philippines. Man, good to see y'all. Venezuela. Florida. A lot of Florida. LA. I just went to LA. Good to see y'all, by the way. Much love to all of you from all your different states and countries. As you know, my name is Xavier, and I am a relationship coach. I've been doing this for 5 to 7 years. And yeah, we're going to get started. I'm going to tell you the best ways to get things done. I'm going to start answering some questions. If you want to, you can DM me if you would like to join on a Zoom on live, and I will take you in on the Zoom on live so that I can hear your personal story. But for now, let's run through some questions. I've been seeing this guy. He goes to Atlanta and hangs out with his friends. Okay, so what am I missing? If a man tells you accidentally cheating is normal in marriage, does that mean he's cheated? Did you ask? Did you ask if he's cheated? Because he's normalized it. So if he's normalized, wait a minute. How do you cheat by accident? Wait. You don't even have to know if he's cheated. Just look at the logic that he's telling you. It's normal to accidentally cheat. First of all, cheating is never an accident. Let's just start there. And then he's saying he's normalized it? Are you married to him? The heck is going on? What's your opinion on a rebound relationship after 8 years? What do you mean by rebound relationship? Is this a relationship that you guys got back into with the same person or a new person? I'm guessing you're saying, that what happens when you get back with the old person. I think 8 years is quite a while. I think that it is possible that you two may have gone through some changes. It's been almost a decade. However, I don't know too many people that change that much. So the question is, I would become friends first. I would get to know who this person is as a new person. And I wouldn't just jump back into a relationship if I were you, because there's a chance some of those things that made you upset in the past can still be lingering. So I would definitely tread the waters carefully. Australia, let's go. Charlotte. RVA, you're in Richmond? Oh, I remember you. I'm having an event, by the way. If you are in Richmond, Virginia, I'm having a live event in Richmond. DM me for the details. From Trinidad and Tobago, let's go. I watch all your videos. Thank you. My ex, a married narcissist, trying to come back into my life, crying and begging and pleading to be with me, telling me he's not happy with his wife. What should I do? Well, he's just using you as a gap fill, because if he really didn't want to be with his wife, he would have gotten a divorce. I think what's happening is he probably isn't doing well in that marriage. Maybe he's doing something wrong, and he thinks that you are available no matter what. He's just using you. You're like a placeholder. You're a void fill. Because when things aren't going wrong in his situation, instead of absolving that or resolving it on his own, he instead chooses to go to you while that's still in the running. While I'm experiencing pain, to avoid experiencing continuous pain, I would rather go to an ex that I think will never be done with me. I would say the fact that he can get in touch with you and he's married, that already speaks volumes. Why are you talking to him? You guys have kids together? Can you get over a 5-year relationship that was abusive emotionally, verbally, and physically? Yes, you can. I've worked with people personally that have gotten through that and that have moved on and are in happy marriages. I've had people that have been in relationships like that longer than that, 10 years plus, that have worked through it. So yes, it is very possible if you want it. You have to want it. I am so happy for myself. Been 4 months since the breakup with my DA. Domestic abuser? Despite the discard, I am now choosing silence to his breadcrumbing. I still think about him, but I really want one day to completely be done. So I'm glad to hear that you're moving on, and I'm glad to hear that you think you deserve better. The feelings will go away as long as you don't participate in contacting that person. It's kind of like a detox, right? So your nervous system is probably used to the circular invites and discards. So when you're done with the relationship, you have to completely drop it as if it never happened. Eventually, your neuropathic connections will form new connections without that person, and they will no longer seem as big of a deal to you. So yes, this will eventually clear itself up, but you're gonna have to completely go silent on it. In fact, he decided to stay longer in ATL. I don't know, what is he doing in ATL? Because I don't want to jump to conclusions here. If he says he's hanging out with friends, he's hanging out with friends. I mean, why aren't you there? Was it a guy's trip? I just feel like people are looking for validation instead of actually dating to get married or a long-term relationship. I believe that validation comes from God and the work you do within. So yes, in this generation, there is a lot more validation going on than actually self-work. And it's causing a lot of people to not be able to see what's actually going on rather what they want to see. So I agree with that validation has become a big priority in today's world. And I think that the more we don't look for validation from other people and we look for it from ourselves, or if you believe in God or the universe, I think that it's important to look elsewhere, because constantly and here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with wanting validation from your partner, right? Hey, does this look good? Hey, how's this outfit? There's nothing wrong with that. I think the challenge comes in when it becomes a codependency, right? Like you can't feel like you can live without getting that validation, and then you're always looking for it and you can't have a life. When it becomes a fixation is normally when it can potentially be harmful in your mental health. Why did he leave me after putting his hands on me? He proposed to me and walked away so effortlessly. Why is he like this? Why did he do that? I don't know. It sounds like this guy's a lot of problems. It sounds like he has a lot of problems. It sounds like he has a lot more going on in that situation. And here's the thing. Instead of saying, why did he do this? We can say, what type of person is that? You know what I mean? Like, because the why almost puts it on you, right? The why is putting it back in your court to figure it out and play detective. Sometimes people are just messed up. Sometimes they just do things and they don't even know why. So if you search looking for the why, then it's going to put the responsibility on you, and you may never get that answer. So you may never get resolved. I'm really sorry this happened to you. Why did my ex narcissist just ghost me out of the blue? God deleted and ghosted me for no reason. I haven't heard from him. and he ignored my attempts to reach out. It's been 1.5 months. He probably found another girl. That's normally when I see people ghost just like that. There's either something he didn't like about you, or he found another girl that he wants and he didn't want you to be a part of that. I've seen a lot of dudes do that. Not even narcissists. Like when they're done with a situation and they don't want you to be involved, they just ghost. But think of it this way. If he really wanted you, he wouldn't have ghosted. People don't normally ghost people they want badly. You know what I mean? Like if they want a future with you, they're going to make it work. If he's willing to ghost you, there's your answer. And if you keep reaching out to him, all that's doing is enabling his behavior even further. That you're still available no matter how bad he treats you. If someone ghosts me for more than 24 to 48 hours, you're done. I could care less about the reason. I'm not saying it won't hurt, but I'm not going to give you privilege to hear the reason, right? I just want to know if you're alive, but you can probably find that out on social media. He brought it up to me and accused me and then broke down how accidentally cheating happens all the time in marriage. There's no such thing as an accident in cheating. It's very intentional. You have to pull down your pants. You've got to take out private parts and you have to act on it. Every step along the way is what happens. It sounds to me like he's showing you a little bit of, what is it called? Future tense? The man's is foreshadowing, right? It sounds like he's kind of dog whistling is another word for it. He's telling you what could possibly happen or what has already happened with him. And he's trying to justify it, right? That's like when someone says, oh, well, I mean, I would tell my daughter if a man cheats on you, you don't leave him because cheating is just something that happens. Because the real story is that they're actually cheating. My man cheated on me. I don't trust him at all. Then why is he your man? And he tells me he's not going to do it again, that it was a mistake. Will he cheat again if I gave him a second chance? I don't know. But here's the thing. You're not going to really give him a second chance because you already said you don't trust him at all. So a second chance means you have to live as if he never cheated. You have to completely wipe the slate as if it never happened. Are you capable of doing that? Is your trust not permanently broken? That's the bigger thing. Because here's the thing. Anyone can cheat on you, right? Like that's something that happens to many people. None of us are 100% safe from getting cheated on. We'd love to be, ideally, but people are people, right? I'm not saying that makes it okay, and I'm not condoning it. However, it's something that happens. Now, if they end up doing it, then you know that they are capable of doing it. So the question is, do you see yourself being with a person that already cheated on you and being able to act normal? Are you going to be able to go back to yourself before the cheating happened? Why did my ex-narcissist just ghost me out of the blue? Got deleted. I think I answered that one already. My narcissist husband abandoned me in New York. It's been more than 5 years, and he won't give me a divorce only because I think they don't want to pay for it. What should I do? Well, there are certain lawyers that you can talk to, and they can subpoena him, right? They can send him a letter or serve him where he has to sign the papers. So if you know his name and you know certain things about him, there's lawyers that will help you, that will make sure that he has to sign it. Hello, do you think a narcissist can change? Yes. It's rare, but yes. But here's the thing. They're not going to change most of the time if you keep giving them chances. The more chances you give them, the less likely they're going to change. I've been seeing this, but he hired to Atlanta and hang out with his friends while he gets drunk. We had plans today. I messaged him this morning. He says he is hungover. Didn't make our plans and rather decided to stay another day in Atlanta. No apology. I mean, why you want him to apologize because he missed out on your plans and he decided to stay in Atlanta instead? I'm trying to understand this full story. 3 kids in with narcissists came back into our lives 3 years and then disappeared again. Will it be back again? 3 kids in with narcissists came back into our lives 3 years and then disappeared again. I don't know, because it seems like he's in a pattern where he just wants to disappear and reappear, right? That seems to be his pattern. And if he got away with it without any consequences, then I don't know. It seems like he's not trying to be a family. I'm so happy I listened to your videos. Help me. I realized I was married to a narcissist cop. Now he's crying to me and wanting to get back, and I know better. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Absolutely. Does anybody want to jump on a Zoom? Do you want to talk to me live? I got the setup. I think it works. If you would like to jump on a Zoom, let me know. Try to see if I can find yeah, send me a DM if you want to jump on a Zoom here. We just had a 5-year-old relationship, no kids. He just got married while he was sleeping with me a week prior to his marriage, which obviously I had no idea about. I'm sorry to hear that. That's terrible. It's respect for him, and you're right. Not sure if I want it anymore. I now see that he has nothing to offer in me. Hold on, my computer just messed up. As insecurity. He has no life plan. He's 52, good-looking man. Hey, well, you're going to have to figure that out, right? Because regardless, his mentality might be a turnoff for you. So you're going to have to ask yourself if it's worth investing in any further or if you're better off single. Say it's true. I did it and it worked. Thank you so much. I love when y'all say stuff like this. It lets me know that I'm doing the right thing here. But I promise I'm only talking about things that I've worked with people that I know work, right? I'm not inventing anything new. No bum can offer me security. He has no problem with no savings in my house. Be on me. Well, then what are you gaining from this? A nice feeling? Like, that sounds like not a good trade-off. I stayed 13 years with 3 kids. He disrespected me, and I thought I could change him. I left after he hit me in front of my kids, and now he doesn't want to accept me. And the kids leaving, he is the loser. Okay. Well, that's good you left. Are you going to stay left? He was there for a retirement ceremony yesterday. We had plans today. He hasn't acknowledged or apologized for his drinking, and now it canceled our plans. I have called, no answer. It sounds like he's creating a distance with you. It sounds like there might be more at work than this current situation. Like, what was your relationship like before this? Because if he does this, it sounds like he feels like he can get away with it. Guys will normally do what they feel like they can get away with. And the fact that you're having a check behind him and he doesn't prioritize being apologetic or asking for forgiveness or anything, that shows me that he might have a lack of respect for you. And if he does, then this is, I'm not going to say anything, but it's not looking good. That speaks volumes when you mention being a gap filler. Oh yeah, a lot of people do that. Like when they're going through something bad in their relationship and they go to an ex because it's easier, because they feel like the ex is still easy access. Yeah, it happens all the time. A lot of people end up being gap fillers and don't even realize it. I went no contact after his marriage, but he approached me after 6 months, explaining to me that he got married to the societal pressure. But his wife uploads pictures with him, and they seem happy. Well, because he lied to you. He's lying to you. Trust me, people don't get married because of societal pressure. You know, I'm sure it happens, but that's the wildest reason to get married. That man wanted to be married to that woman. Because if he's going to marry someone, he might as well marry someone he likes. Even if it was societal pressure, you think he would take someone he doesn't like? He's just saying whatever he's got to say to make you still be an option. Oh, no, I don't really like her. It was societal pressure. It wasn't even me. I don't even like her. And then he does that on purpose, hoping that you will stay an option. Well, you know, I don't even like her like that, so can I see you? Can we hang out? I've been with a covert narcissist since I was 17. I'm almost 69 now, married for 49 years. He's cheated, he's beaten me, and on and on. What's wrong with me? 3 poor children, and they have suffered. I don't know. I don't know. I would have to talk to you, right? So I don't know why, and it doesn't necessarily mean that there's something wrong with you. It may just be an unfortunate situation that you might struggle to navigate, right? Because not everybody expects their marriage to turn out to be a domestic abuse, and you really can't speak on it, you know, until you've been through it. Like it's kind of hard to like know what a person is going through, right? You're going through something that is difficult. I have a marriage. I have kids. I'm suffering. What do? Do I break up the family? Do I go be on my own? Am I going to be loved again? Am I going to find someone? Like there's all these questions that you have to ask yourself that sound scary, especially when you have children on the line. Are they going to like the new dad? Do I want a stepdad? Like, you know, all these things. So I'm not saying this to say you should stay in it, but I'm saying it's understandable that it could be tough to try to navigate through that. Like he caught me with recent nudes, insisted he didn't sleep with them, but he immediately ended it and made it my fault. Feels like as if I never caught. Okay. Why do a man ask you, can you wait until he finishes his baggage and then go marry somebody else, and then when he's done with that, he would come back to you? Because you're a gap filler. You're not a real romantic interest for him. You're not an investment. That's what that means. For him, he is just using you to keep him good until he finds what he really wants. And when that situation doesn't work out, you become the rebound. So you're just being used, which shows if you want to be used. But personally, I think that you'd be better off meeting someone that actually wants to love you correctly, that makes you a priority and makes you their first option, that doesn't keep you on the sideline. Because that's going to hurt. And I think that you deserve better than that. He is avoidant, and I'm anxious. 3 daughters, open married, train wreck. Hey, Rocky, what's going on, girl? It's been a while. I was just looking at your page, Rocky. I was just stalking you recently. So just know, you've been stalked. I don't even know if she's on. She probably didn't even hear that. That's true. I think he ran back to his ex. I don't know for sure, but she probably saw that he was still talking to me, so he ghosted me to show loyalty to her. Sickening. I was so good to him. Well, you dodged a bullet, because if he was willing to do that no matter how good you treated him, then that means that's his character. That's actually a blessing. Do you recommend blocking and deleting an ex-narcissist? Yeah. I recommend deleting and blocking exes as a whole, but that's just me. Like, why am I talking to my ex? I don't care. You know, like, there's nothing here. Is this pre-recorded? No. Don't you see me reading the question? I'm so sorry to read this. Okay, you unblock me, which I find weird. Well, why does it matter? Like, why are you putting him in the power position and saying, well, he doesn't block me, so, well, I mean, why don't you just block him then? I am 2 months no contact, and I can't be happier about it. It is hard, but I'm proud of myself, and I recommend to all the queens here to get out of it. 100%. I recommend to all the queens in here to do that as well. Go no contact. Go no contact. You are better than this. You do not need to stay on the hook for one. There's so many people. Why are we getting on the hook for one person that doesn't treat us right? You know what I mean? Like, what is this one person? There's so many people. Now I'm going through PTSD with my son who had imposter syndrome and narcissism. He's 28. I'm sorry. Hey, did I say hey to Rocky? Oh yeah, Rocky knows. Did you hear when I said I stalked you? It's important that you hear that part. What's that noise? What noise? I've been told my intense gaze makes men uncomfortable, often after they say something surprising. I wonder if I'm too much for them, or if their intimidation is a turn off for me. Am I being too? I think you're thinking a lot. You can jump on a Zoom call? Okay, rehearse. Okay, send me a DM if you want to jump on a Zoom call. You don't have to get on camera. You don't have to get on camera. What's your story? How did you get into this line of work? There's a lot of noise. White noise. Is it still here? Help me, can I have details? Yeah, send me a DM. Is it still here? Is the sound still here, y'all? It is? Hold on. Give me a second. Okay. How's that noise now? Like rain? Yo, what the hell? Hold on. Can you hear me now? Hello. Sometimes I hate technology. Sound like a waterfall. It's good now? Yes, okay. Okay, good. We're back. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what that was. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I think I know what it is. I installed this new software and I think it's messing with my mic. Okay. We are back. All right, we got more questions? She said sound is good. That's good to hear. Do you wear contacts? No. Why? Why do you think I wear contacts? Could a situationship be could a situationship ever turn into a relationship? Rarely. It's possible, but the way to turn it into a relationship is not a process you would like. It usually requires you to almost break up with the person. You said narcissism can change. How? Why? Tell me more, please. Um, they'd have to go through serious therapy, like cognitive behavioral. If they're actually a narcissist, if they get diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, because there's a lot of guys that aren't narcissists, they just act crazy. Um, but if they are that, then they have to go through therapy. And a lot of them don't go to therapy because they don't care about going to therapy. Your eyes are awesome. Thank you. Is that why you thought I wore contacts? How do I get help? He's deflecting and blaming me. You're cute. Ah, thank you. Send me a DM. Do you know how to send DMs on Instagram? Not NPD, but has many characteristics. Then he might not need therapy. He just might need a coach like me, or he might just need, yeah, I would say coaching or like counseling. Something light, just to be told if he wants to. See, that's the thing. A lot of manipulators, I'll put them in manipulative category. They don't care to learn why they're wrong. They don't think that there's a point in that. I didn't hear the message I sent because of the sound. Sorry about that. My question was, why do you think my ex dismissive avoidant did one missed call after the breakup? I feel disgusted because I see it as an act of cowardness. So here's my question, right? If he's a dismissive avoidant, isn't that behavior to be expected? You see it as an act of cowardness, but if you say that he is an avoidant type and he's your ex, then that means he's gonna act like an avoidant. So, I mean, it's okay to feel how you feel, but I'm just saying, what are your expectations from someone like that? Have you accepted who he is? That's like me saying, hey, this person really likes basketball. Can't believe they decided to play basketball today. Like it's like, don't they regret at some point? Not really. Not always. He doesn't care. He lies about what the therapist says. Then it's on you. Sounds like the ball's in your court to get it right then, because you're not going to have support from him. How do I not attract narcissists or domestic abusers? Boundaries early in the game. But let me ask you this. Do you have a fawn response? Do you ever feel like you're trying to please people? Do you feel like you're an empath and you look out for people to the point that it hurts you? Do you ever feel those feelings? Yes, he is avoidant. I was told most ladies are anxious avoidant and men just avoidant. I don't know where they got that statistic from because I'm an anxious attachment. I'm not an avoidant. So, but if that statistic is a thing, then we'll run with that. But I would say this, it doesn't give anyone a pass. Just because someone's an avoidant doesn't mean that it's okay for them to act this way. They still have to fix it. This is bad behavior, whether you have a label or not. And you have to maintenance said behavior, right? It's on you. So if they're not doing their part, then they're wasting time. Do they love at all, these narcissists? Yeah, not in the way that you need it though. See, what if you like? What is the definition of love? Because if you're saying it's a feeling, then that's not gonna be sustainable. The way I look at love is more than a feeling. It's an action. It's saying I prioritize you regardless of how I feel, especially in moments, not the whole time, but in moments. So if I'm still serving you as my girlfriend or as my wife, and I am not exactly feeling that right now, that's love. It's not just a feeling. If you're asking if they have feelings, well, yeah, everybody's got them, but they're different. You know, they're not really quantifiable. Do you have an office somewhere, or is a lot of it all online? Most of it is online, but I see people in person. I also host live events. I don't know how many of you are in the DMV area or in Richmond, Virginia, but I have an event coming up pretty soon. He called it off due to a physical incompatibility, but he had a traumatic past relationship where his past partner was not faithful, treated him badly, and had depression. Chances of turning it around, that has more to do with him, though. See, if he hasn't gotten over his past, then he needs to work on that himself. That has nothing to do with you. That's his own journey and that's his own walk. So if he called it off, then if I were you, I would look at moving on. Because once you make a final decision, that's it. You're single. So I wouldn't sit around waiting for it to change because why should you have to wait around for someone that isn't working through their stuff? I'm not saying that what happened to him was fantastic. I'm sorry that happened to him. But that's also something he has to go maintenance and maybe he shouldn't be getting into relationships. Maybe there's a sign that he needs to hold back from relationships for a little while, right? So, no, you shouldn't wait around. You shouldn't wait for anybody. Like unless you're getting a relationship as a deal, and he's going to put effort in and prioritize you, you should not be running behind anyone. You shouldn't be chasing anyone, especially when they tell you they're still upset about something that happened to their ex. You're wasting your time. So I'm going to tell you, looks like all the queens on here, I'm going to tell you, don't wait around. If someone isn't sure about you, especially after they spend time with you and they've been in a relationship with you, then you need to move on because there's somebody who's going to be sure about you real quick that's going to treat you the way you need to be treated. I would really like to work with you. Yes, I'm going to save y'all in here to work with me. Jasmine, I'm going to send you some hookups here. I'm saving your information. Yorktown, VA? Yeah, where's Yorktown? Hold on, let me check on my navigation. Whoa, Yorktown, VA. Okay, you're about an hour away. That's perfect. Yeah, the event is on July 17th, so definitely make sure you come out. I'll send you the information. It's on July 17th. You're going to love it. We're going to be in person. This is my first in-person event that I've scheduled. Usually I sign on to someone else's. How can I spot a narcissist? I have learned so much, but I am still wondering if there's any clear behavior that only narcissists could have. I'm watching from Spain, so greetings from Barcelona. So here's what I would say. One clear way to know is to look at how much they are on their own agenda. How much do they ask you questions during the first date? How much do they talk about your interests? How much do they make it about you? How well do they learn about your boundaries? How much do they prioritize your boundaries? Do they do everything that they say? It might take you, because some people are really good, it might take you 2 to 3 weeks, but you definitely want to make sure that you're paying attention to how they move and how they prioritize things. Because narcissists or selfish manipulators, everything is pointed to an agenda, to an outcome that only benefits them. So, what I would also say is a great way to spot them is to not let their charm get the best of you. If they're good looking, if they're charismatic, If they, seem nice and decent, don't let it fool you, because some of them use that to their advantage to get what they want and to confuse you. So just be careful. Don't wait. How do you close that door? He's supposed to come through my town tomorrow on his way home. So here's the thing. I have to talk to you. Grace and Truth, I'm trying to read your full name. You and me need to have more of a discussion because I need to learn some more background about your situation. I would say to you, don't end it quite yet because your situation is a little different. But we definitely could use some talking. He did listen to my stuff, so later on he used that against me. No, he doesn't keep his words. Thank you. Okay. Just ended an abusive relationship of 2 years with a narcissist after an abusive marriage of 2 years. Time to work on it now. Well, we're good. You're in there. Are you okay? I gotta buy this thing, man. Gotta make a quick purchase so I can get you guys on the Zoom. Hold on one second. Guys are still there. Hold on. Let me you know what? I'll have to do the Zoom next time because right now it's acting up. You sent me a DM? You know what? I'm gonna send you a Zoom link anyway. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna send you a Zoom link. Thanks for all your videos. Thank you for you. All right, hold on. I'm gonna send this person a DM. Let's see if we can get some action going. Bear with me. I'm first timer here. What the heck? Hold on, I'm trying to find you in here. The answer, you are an answer to prayers, my friend. I got you. Got you all covered. We are gonna get this worked on. Like I said, I've been doing this for years though. So, what is it? ATHREA. D of Grace. There, gotcha. Okay. Your bio is awesome, mother, friend. All right, see if that link works for you. And here's the password. Now, it might not work, but we're going to try it anyway. All right. I sent the password and everything, so we'll see if she jumps on. She said, "Let's talk." I'm gonna get these answers today. Why do I feel guilt towards myself? Ashamed. Well, what is the problem? Hey, my boyfriend and I are on long distance relationships. Sometimes I usually have thoughts of what if he loses interest. How do I overcome that? By understanding that you're an amazing person, and whatever's meant to happen will happen, right? You can't always control what's going to happen, but just know that regardless, it does not change how amazing you are. So, yeah, this is when you try to find that strength in yourself. Yeah, I don't know if she's getting on. But try to find that more in yourself. How long? When are y'all gonna end this though? Because I think that's something to consider too. You know, like it's important to consider like an end date for long distance situations because otherwise it gets a little messy. Then it calls me out and waiting. Thank you so much for your content. Thank you, Nora. What time is it there? It's about 5:06 p.m. Nothing too crazy. Time is it over there? I know what time it is in Yorktown for Paula. He says, I am the narcissist and it hurts a lot. That's why I feel ashamed. I have a big following and everything I do feels narcissistic. You have a big following? How many followers you got? I'm named after the Apostle Paul. Oh, that's cool. So when did we get all these Christians on here? Like, wait, what's going on, y'all? It's the energy, huh? It's the energy. You have 250K followers? Oh my goodness, that's amazing. What do you do? Thank you from Cali. Thank you, Cali. Barcelona, you know, just in bed, learning. I love you saying my name, of course. How can I stop having feelings for my ex? It's been over a year, but I still think about him every day. I'm really sorry to hear that. Um, so over a year and you still think about him. I mean, let's be realistic. I mean, what is it about him that you feel like you want or that you miss? Wait, is she on?
Hello?
Hey, are you? Can you hear me?
I can't hear anything.
Dang it! See, I
Hello?
hate this. Hold on. Can you hear me?
I can now, yes.
Yeah, I think there might be something wrong with my computer. Let me see if the
I,
audience can hear me. Can the audience still hear me? The hair on the white hat. You can hear her? Can you hear me? I don't know if they can hear me now.
well, they
Huh?
surely don't need to just hear me.
Oh, they can hear me too.
oh,
They
good.
can hear both of us. Oh,
Awesome.
okay. So let's go ahead and let's get to it. What's going on, girl?
Okay, thanks for taking my call. So, I've been dating this guy, and everything's been fine. We talk, FaceTime, several times a day. No real concerns there. Wednesday he came to see me. Thursday he left to go to Atlanta for a retirement ceremony. Before he left, we made plans to do something on Saturday because he said that he would leave the hotel like around 8 or somewhere around there and get here about 12. So we would like go out to eat, hang out at home, and then go out again at the nighttime, like nightlife or something. So he leaves on Thursday. He goes to Atlanta, gets a hotel. Friday he goes to retirement ceremony. He calls me, tells me, "Hey, babe, I just made it to retirement ceremony." He FaceTimes me once, leaves the retirement ceremony, FaceTimes me, not FaceTime, calls me. The rest of the day it's all calling. So he'll call. And he said, "Hey, my buddy in Nashville, Tennessee, he heard that I'm in Atlanta. So he said he might come." And I was like, "Oh, that's great." And he said, "Well, I'm not sure if he's going to come today, which was yesterday, or tomorrow." And I said, "Oh." And in my head, I'm thinking, "But we have plans tomorrow." So I said, "Okay." And so we talk more and hang up. And several times we talk throughout the day. And he's still talking about his buddy coming. And I said, "Well, what about our plans that we have for tomorrow?" He said, I'm going to see you. You know, I've got to drive through your town to get home anyway. And I was like, oh, okay. He said, I just need to find out what my buddy's doing. So he calls me and says, hey babe, I'm getting ready. We just finished dinner. I had a shot and feeling kind of warm inside. We're gonna go out and watch a WNBA game, then some after parties, and then I'll come home and they're gonna go home to their wives. And I was like, oh, okay. So he goes out. I don't hear anything else from him this morning. No call, no text, nothing. It was 11:41, and I just sent a message and said good morning because here we are almost at 12 o'clock. And then he calls me. I missed his call, so I just texted him and said, hey babe, sorry I missed your call. Are you okay? And he said, I'm hungover. I had too much Hennessy, and I have a really bad headache. And I said, oh no, he's like, yeah. And then I said, I'm a little surprised that you drank to the point of, I guess, being hungover, knowing that you had to get up in the morning and drive here for our plans. So what are your plans today? And he said, yeah, you're right. He said, I'm just going to go ahead and stay another night here and then head back in the morning, which is Sunday. And I haven't heard back from him since.
Yeah, so how long have you both been together?
It's like, it's fresh. It's like almost 2 months.
Oh, so you guys have only known each other for 2 months?
Well, we've known each other, but we just considered ourselves to start dating about. It's kind of one of those things like, hey, you know what? Why don't we just give this a try? And we just started dating.
Okay, so you just started dating for 2 months. Is this the first time that he's done something like this, where he's missed plans or messed up an arrangement, drank too much? Like, has he ever done this before in the time that you guys have
No,
dated?
no. I mean, I know his past, but that was before me. He used to cheat all the time but that was in his 20s and 30s. He's in his 40s now. Uh,
Well, sometimes these behaviors can carry over, right? Like, I mean, if he did it in his 20s and his 30s, like 30s, I would say isn't that young to say, oh, he's over it now. But I mean, hey, maybe it's possible. I don't want to put anything in your head.
yeah, right.
But if he's acting, a bit cavalier about timing, then all you can do is start to pull back. I mean, it is 2 months that you guys have been a kind of official. Are
Yeah.
you guys in a relationship or you're just dating?
No, no, he asked me to be his girlfriend, all that stuff.
How long after you started dating did he ask you to become his girlfriend?
Right away.
What do you mean right away? Like in the first 48 hours?
Yes.
Oh. Wait, so were you guys even dating before you got into a relationship?
No, no, we were just friends that just knew of each other.
You knew of each other, so you guys didn't really like have, I guess.
Nothing
So you
romantic
went
until
from
then.
no romance to relationship in 48 hours.
Yes, we started hanging out within 48 hours. He's like, you know what? I want to ask you to be my girlfriend, like officially. And I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Uh, and then, I mean, like I said, it's been fine. We talk, text. He always tells me like, don't stop texting. If you feel like, texting me, you know, um, feel free to. And he pretty much responds back. But I do know that all of his friends that he was hanging out with are going through a divorce, or the guy who retired yesterday, he just told his wife that he wants to get a divorce, but he wants to keep it civil because they have kids. So I don't know
Well,
what they did last night. And I've never seen him drink like that either.
well, at the same time, like if you're saying this is you guys got into a relationship, so I'm guessing that means you guys have had more contact with each other at this point than you did before you became friends. Or before you
Absolutely.
started dating. Okay, so maybe it's like you're seeing, since you're a lot more involved in his life, maybe
Hmm.
now you're seeing the real him come out. And
That's it. Yeah.
as a girlfriend, you're starting to see how much priority he puts on showing up at the times that he said he would, and how, I guess, meticulous he is about the process. And you're seeing that he may not be as focused on it as it seems.
Yeah.
But this is also a very big opportunity, because this is a moment where you can either draw boundaries really early in the game, or you let it go. Because it sounds like he's calling a lot of the shots, and a lot of the shots that he's calling are kind of steamrolling over yours. So if he continues to take the relationship in this direction, you're going to end up always with the follower stamp. Like, it's just going to be whatever he calls. So what I'm saying is, this could incentivize him to do more like this. More moments where he doesn't show up and he doesn't make the call, or he doesn't have plan, or you have plans and he gets drunk. If he gets away with it now, there's a possibility he might do it again. And then he's going to blame it on you later and say, well, this was a problem before. Why didn't you say something then? So
Makes sense.
I know it's early and you probably don't want to make things uncomfortable or cause
Yeah.
friction. I get it totally. However, this is usually one of those moments where people tell me 7 years into the relationship, well, things were so different in the beginning. And then I'm like, well, tell me what happened in the beginning. And then they tell me all of these red flags, and I'm like, why didn't you call it out? And they're like, oh, because I didn't want to do too much.
Yeah,
So
like
here's
not
the,
ruffle feathers or something.
yeah, you don't want to do that because it's so new. But here's the thing: he already ruffled them. It's already ruffled. Because if he didn't follow through with the plan on your side, and he went out drinking and he's missing, well, how many plans did he miss? It's been two now.
No, this is just the one. This
Just the
this is
one.
the first time that he's done this. Now he hasn't gone. This is his first time going to Atlanta because where we live, he doesn't have like quote unquote friends because he's in dad mode and working. But all the friends gathered in Atlanta, and that's when yesterday I kept feeling like, why don't you just tell me that you're not going to meet with me tomorrow, which is Saturday? I just felt like it in my heart that that's what was going to happen. But I wanted him to say that he was going to prioritize his friend from Tennessee that would be coming in. Because he said, I would hate for him to get here Friday night, Saturday morning, and then I have to leave to come see you, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that what you're doing right now is observation. You're trying to see what he would rather do and how he actually is acting. And it's kind of interesting because you guys jumped into a relationship, so you kind of feel like he's supposed to get the accountability of a boyfriend, but you haven't really had much time to get to know him through dating. So in a way, this might have been a little bit wrecked because since you guys started off on relationship terms so quickly before the dating process, he didn't
Yeah.
get time to earn his place as your boyfriend.
Ooh, that's good. Because I thought the time before that was, I didn't spend as much time with him that I do now. Like it's like 2 or 3 times a week we see each other, or he'll come over here, or I'll go to his house or something like that.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. It's built off of the friendship part, but in order to make it into a construct of what type of relationship that you both want, he has to show up for a certain period of time to pretty much qualify to be your boyfriend.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
because he automatically got that clearance, he's just doing what he normally does. It might not even be intentional, right? Like maybe he's not intentionally trying to disrespect you. Maybe this is just who he is. But because you don't have any evidence of who he is
Yeah.
during a dating process, you're pretty much in the dating process now, yet we're calling it a relationship. Because it's like, what are the expectations, right? Like I've only officially been romantic with you for 2 months. We need 3 to 4 months to 5 at the most to kind of build, an expectation pattern. So now you're trying to see, is this him just deliberately disrespecting you? Or is it that he's naturally this lackadaisical and should we call him out? So here's what I say. I would handle it, me personally, I would handle it like it's dating. I wouldn't let the relationship title keep me in check. I would say, let's break out of that relationship title. Let's act like we're in a probation period, like in corporate America. We're in that
Okay.
90-day probation period. At some point, we're going to have to address you missing plans with me. And here's how you can do it. You don't have to do it in, oh my God, you're the bad guy, horrible man kind of way. Because if this is his first offense, we can handle it light. So what we can say is, when he comes around, because apparently he's supposed to come around, you can say, how do you feel about the fact that we had plans and you didn't show up? Because what you want to do is you want to learn his idea of good and bad before you just start to talk about yours.
Okay.
Because then you'll know what you're working with. See, if you tell him that you're upset already, that might give him all the clues, right? Because then he's gonna know, okay, I'm just gonna clear this up, and I know what your idea of bad is without understanding his mentality. And then you'll be fighting back and forth with this mentality over the next 3 to 4 years.
Ugh.
So you want to know his mentality before you start to talk about your preferences, since you're technically still in dating phase and learning about who he is. So I would ask him, hey, over the last couple days there were plans that we had and you didn't exactly follow through with it. And you drank. Hey, if that's you, that's you. But I'm just curious, like, is that how you normally like to be? Like, do you like to just do what you want and drink and not show up for a plan or two? Like, is that a big deal to you? Because that way you're putting him in a position. He's either gonna say I'm flat out wrong and everything I did was wrong, and then you can answer with, well, then it shouldn't happen again, right? Because I mean, if this is not your character, then I shouldn't have to expect this moving forward. Or if he says, no, I think it's fine, it's no big deal, then you might be fighting an uphill battle. Because if you tell him, well, I don't like it, then you're fighting against someone who doesn't see it as a big deal. So
So
now
I,
you're,
but I did text him, and told him that I feel disappointed that, we didn't get a chance, that he didn't come
yeah.
or keep his promises, whatever. No, no, that was at 11,
And
or
what
no,
did,
that was at 12 o'clock this afternoon.
and
No
what did
response.
he say?
Nothing. He hasn't responded.
He hasn't responded?
And then I called him at 1 something. He didn't answer. It just kept ringing.
Girl, I would back off. No, I would back off. If he goes more than a day without responding to you, I'm sorry. At that point, I'm like, hey, that's disrespectful. Like, that's disrespectful. So he missed the plan. You talked about how it was disappointing to you, and he goes 4 hours without talking, 4 or 5 hours without talking to you.
Yeah, and then I'm guessing when he drives through my town, he's gonna try to come by. So I guess I'm not gonna call him anymore. I'm not gonna text him or anything. I'm just gonna leave it alone and see what happens. I guess is that what I'm gonna do?
I mean, that's all you can do because right now it's like your check. He's already built a dynamic where you have to check on him, and he's not having to check on you. You're the stable
Right.
one right now, and he's unstable. So
Mm-hmm.
that, if anything, there should be consequences for this on your side. Like there should be consequences for that kind of behavior. Because if he just gets away with this and tries to brush it under the rug, then there
Yeah.
is a possibility that he's gonna do it again, and then he's gonna try to clean it up this way. He has to know this isn't okay. I don't know how you plan on doing that or showing him that, but I can tell you what I would do.
Yeah. What would you do?
Well, I'm a little heavy on the gas. I would end the relationship. I would say I think we moved too quick into a relationship because canceling plans and doing stuff like that, and you not responding to how I feel. It just kind of makes me feel like Well, first I would ask him the question about how he feels about it. Right? I would start there. As a matter of fact, I would just start there. I would just start
That's
there.
if he calls me or if he texts me or
If
if
he doesn't call or text you, you got your answer. Like I said, if he goes the rest of the day without calling or texting you until tomorrow,
when he's on his way back this way.
it's over. Personally, I think it's over. You don't do that in a relationship.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I think he was bluffing. I think that he just said that, and he probably moves kind of fast. He definitely moves very fast. And if he is willing to go without talking to you in a relationship, then that's his view. He's letting you know how he views relationships. And honestly, you're better off without a person like that, in my opinion.
Yeah, because he even dropped the "I love you" bomb um, after not. He says he falls hard, and he was already about. He already said "I love you"
When did he say that?
within the same week that we started dating.
Wait, so he said I love you within the first week of date. Did you find that concerning at all?
To me, it sounded like love bombing.
It is love bombing in a week.
Yeah,
That
that's what I
that's
thought.
that's what you know. You're on it. Like that's love bombing hardcore in a week. And this is how quick the turnaround is. It's usually within 3 months. That's why they say the 3 month rule. You're within the 3 month period, and he's already starting to show you he's getting wobbly. So yeah, this is how they do. They use
Wow.
they use the words "I love you" to break down your guard quickly. It's usually to try to sleep with someone. Like dudes will say, "I want a relationship with you and I love you," just to sleep with you. They
Yeah,
want the
I kind of
girlfriend.
feel like that knowing like how I am normally, being that we're friends, he knows my stance on stuff. I feel like maybe he entered into a relationship to be able to quote unquote like jump in the pool or have sex or however you want to say it.
Yeah, yeah, that happens quite often actually.
Yeah. So then he's like gone.
But yeah, that's what they do. They ghost. They start getting disappointing, and the second that you ask for accountability or you tell them how you're uncomfortable, that's when you see the real side come out.
I feel like that's what I'm experiencing.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I don't count my eggs before they hatch. I would see how the next day or so goes. And like I said, if I don't hear anything till tomorrow, I would chalk that up to it's not important enough to him and this was a game. If he does manage to come through at some point today or contact you today, then I would run through those questions to see how he feels and how he acts towards this. And that would also tell me what I need to know. So either way, it's a win-win for you in finding out. He's actually digging his own grave by taking this long to get back. It just builds more of a case for you.
Yeah, I'm just surprised, but I guess I shouldn't be.
No, it's okay to be surprised. I mean, if he was really convincing and you felt like there was some truth there, then
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, it's shocking that people still do this, and especially people, after 25, like this goes on.
Right.
So understandable to feel that way. I don't want to invalidate your feelings at all, but however, it is within the 2 to 3 months period, so you're also in prime time for someone to switch up on you. But I think that you're doing a good job by coming to my page, by reaching out, by having a conversation, because this is only going to reposition you so that you could be stronger in the next moment.
Yes, I appreciate you.
Of course, girl, I got your back. Well, anyway, you have a great rest of your day. Let us know how it goes, and I will talk to you later.
All right, thank you.
No problem. All right, bye.
Bye.
How y'all doing? How are y'all doing? I'm back. Y'all heard that whole thing? Y'all heard the whole thing? Anne Marie. Ah, good to see you, girl. How you been? How's everything going with you? I was curious what happened with your situation, but we can always talk. Someone on a video said you could do this. Text him saying I hear something mental about you. If he answers, then you left him on red. But don't do that. Don't be like them. Don't say something manipulative. Oh man, that was insightful. Absolutely. Cause see, here's the thing. We can always just call out the behavior, but sometimes you want to be in a position of strength. And see, that's what I'll help you with. I'll help you reposition yourself to make them look like the bad guy. But you got to listen to me. You got to take it step by step because that's what they're doing. They're setting you up. If you start going off and saying how he's wrong and all these things, oh, he's gonna come back. You got to reposition him. I feel like he knew how she was and manipulated her into committing because he wanted to control her and he knows she likes him more. I mean, yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, he got her to agree to a relationship in 48 hours. He knew, right? I would feel like that too. If he thinks, and it's like I said, if he's that kind of guy, if he's a manipulator, manipulators drop the L word like it's candy, right? So if he feels like he can get you that fast, then there's a possibility he might think, oh well, how far can I take this? You haven't answered my question above. I don't even see the question. Can you send it again? I just did a whole Zoom call. Help me out. Where is it? That part. Why don't he love her as a friend? That for real. You heard the dude was like 48 hours, and then in a week he was like, I love you. And then he starts making up all these lies by month 2. That's in the 3-month period, right? It's always within 3 months. I don't know why. If there no true words have been spoken, man. Why do women want to have a why to everything and just can't move on? Because it hurts. Because it hurts. And men do it too. I think they want to make sense of it because they don't understand it. They're like, why does this hurt? What does it mean? And also they're confused because they thought the person was on the same page as them, right? They thought this person loved them and they loved that person and we could all love each other together. They didn't expect it to go that way. So that's why they're like, why? Because sometimes what we do as people is we relate. We feel like when we like someone that they like us the same way, that they're experiencing the same emotions that they feel. We feel like we're in alignment. So when that person does something, when they run from the relationship or they go crazy or they start lying, we start saying, wait, what happened? Because I thought we were on the same page. What went wrong? Because it's going so well. So what happens is we start talking about why, because we're like, it was so relatable and it was working. Why did that change? And because I can't relate to that. And I want to find a way to understand that emotion. But unfortunately, the world doesn't give us a lot of those answers and we stay stuck in a pattern. And also, sometimes we feel like we're the blame. Sometimes we feel like it's something wrong with us. I think that sometimes it feels like I did something wrong. If a person's able to leave me that quickly, it must be something with me. It must be, there's so many reasons why that why comes up, but that's another reason. Because like I said, it's not a gender thing. It's like men and women do this. I can't tell you how many times things didn't work out with me and a woman and I was like, man, what did I do? Like, I must have ruined this. But in reality, I didn't even ruin it sometimes. It was just she had someone else she'd rather be with, or she didn't want a relationship, or she wasn't healed. Like, there's so many, answers. Why do narcissistic fathers breadcrumb and fail to communicate? They are in a new relationship but lack to communicate. But lack communication co-parent wise. Because they don't want responsibility. Communication opens the door to responsibility. No communication closes the door. So he don't want to be part of nothing. Nothing with you, nothing with the kids. He wants out. That's typically the reason why people ghost and why people don't talk. Because, I don't know if you were there for the Zoom call, but the dude in Atlanta is doing the same thing. The second the woman he was with said, this makes me feel a little bit upset or something, he ghosted. He was like, that's it. Because he doesn't want to hear that. It's exactly the opposite. Logic runs deeper than emotion. My question was, sometimes I crave that we do calls daily, but I don't know how to bring it up. Because am this kind of what? I mean, you can mention it. You can say, "Hey, I would." Well, here's what you could do. You can learn what type of person he is first, right? Always ask the question. This is how you curve the system. Say, "Hey, are you the type of person that likes calls daily, or do you like it once in a while?" You know, especially after you like someone. What type of person are you? Learn about who they are first. Because then you'll learn if you guys are on the same page. If you're not, that's cool. But then if you're not, then you're going to have to be the one to basically tell them, right, that you want to make this change. So you can say, well, I like, and then you don't have to tell them what to do. You can say, just personally for me, I like to do calls daily. If that's not you, I understand, but this is something that I kind of need. So just, do whatever you feel and see how they take it. That way you're not telling them what to do, but you're telling them what you want. So if they really want to make that move for you, then they'll do it. If you can relate, is it so that you can't relate just because you are not that way? I think you can't relate because you're looking at the behavior in that moment for you guys as dynamic, and it doesn't make sense to you because you don't share that same feeling or reaction, right? So when you can't relate, you're like, I wouldn't do that. So why are they doing it? I wouldn't have handled it that way. So why are they doing it? So you're kind of associating your own pattern and how you think and feel in this very dynamic to that person. And that makes it extra confusing because it's like, well, if I wasn't there, why are they there? They said the same words. I hugged them. We hugged each other the same. We kissed the same. There were a lot of alignment parts. I didn't see this left turn coming. So hopefully that makes sense. I like your eyes. Thank you. I've been getting some compliments on my eyes. I got to take some eye drops, man. Or just eyes, the cowboy in the white hat. Yeah. We think we are a good judge of character. When there is a game being played and we misjudge that person's character, confusion follows. Yes, that is a good one. Are your followers still jumping off the deep end, X? What do you mean? I like your eyes. Thank you. How can you tell if someone is a covert narcissist? Because they act differently with other people than they do with you? That's one way to know. I just was to feel safe with or without a man. How can I provide that feeling for myself? Good question. Why don't you feel that from yourself? There's another question. Why do I want to reach out my ex who was toxic to me? Why do I want to talk to him when I know I can do better? Because you're not fully convinced you could do better. And here's the thing. I believe that you can do better. I think that you have better in your head that you believe is going to match reality. I do believe that. However, I don't think that you're 100% convinced yet. I think that there is a part of yourself that possibly feels like this is the best you can do and that this is the best you can experience. And it's also familiar and it's easier, right? Familiarity, easiness, all those feelings and emotions, it gets tough to walk away from something that's a sure deal. You know what I mean? It may not be a good deal, but it's a sure deal. So then you start thinking of better, but when you haven't found it yet, it can be tough to say, I'm going to get better. If you haven't found it yet, if it hasn't shown up, that's going to be tough. Followed you before on another page. Oh, I remember you. I even like your shirt. Thank you. I actually tried to use a good shirt today. What is the best way to communicate our SOS stealing issues? Granted, he is only 3. Our son's stealing issue, he's only 3. I don't know where he's picking this up. It felt like dad didn't really seem to care. Well, if dad doesn't care, there's one big problem. You need both parents to be on the same page. So have you talked to dad? Have you asked him about prioritizing this issue? Because if you're operating against each other, that might make it hard. Like people who easily trust because they know how they are trustworthy. Like, no, no. Who is this? Like I said, if you want to work with me directly, you want to get sessions with me, go ahead and send me a DM with the hashtag word ready. If you want to come to my event in Richmond, Virginia, here on July 17th, make sure you send me a DM with a live event. I took it as a challenge. Eyebrows are nice. Thank you so much. You skipped my question. Again? Did I not answer it? You're messing with me. I thought I answered it. Oh, up here. Who doesn't like to feel I'm asking for too much? I don't know what you mean by that. Who doesn't like to feel I'm asking for too much? I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what you mean by that. I'll need you to re-ask that in a different way. My husband committed adultery and told me detailed things he did with them. Mostly a Diane? Wait, what? What is this? Closer? Why is he telling you all those details? You and me gotta talk, Miss Paula. Miss Paula, we gotta talk. What? Sometimes I really hate the way DMs work. To participate in the Zoom. Let me see. Still ready? I might have someone else for a Zoom. We're gonna have another fun call. We're gonna do this. It's like Kevin Samuels, but way better. I'm playing. Don't come at me. Girl, what are you? Okay, hold on. We're gonna get another Zoom call on here. We're gonna have some fun today. I did with Ready. Okay. All right, so I'm about to get someone. Hold on, let me get this Zoom taken care of, and we're gonna have another conversation. This is a man who says people cheat accidentally, because accidental cheating is somehow a thing. All right. I can't wait to hear this one. Send this over. Hope y'all are having fun. Well, not everybody's having fun, clearly, but I think our son is doing it for attention. Xavier, your eyes reflect clarity and sincerity. Eyes are the windows of the soul. Yours are clear. Thank you. That's such a compliment. I love deep compliments like that. I appreciate that a lot. I hope I represent clarity because that's what I want. I want clarity. I want peace for everyone. I want you to feel peace in your hearts. I want you to have the answers. I want you to have closure. I want you to move on. And whether it's with someone or without someone, I want you to feel like you can conquer the world. I don't want you to feel stuck in these patterns. I'm a therapist, so I feel like I can see when he needs the attention. Making assumption if he is possibly not feeling heard or seen at home with his dad. Could be. Have you asked him about that? Like, have you asked him why does he do it? Hold on. All right, we got a Zoom call here.
Hey, how are ya?
I'm doing great. How are you? Hold on. Before you keep going, I want to check. Can everybody hear this call? I'm gonna check with everybody. Alba Artist. Oh, absolutely represent clarity, emotional intelligence, and the highest intelligence. Thank you. Well, thank you for jumping on, Rachel. I think they can. Can you guys hear? Can you guys hear Rachel? Yep. Okay, we're good. All right, Rachel. Well, let her rip. What's going on, girl?
Okay, first of all, I'm from Colorado. It is a hot one today.
It is hot over here in Virginia too. It is
Yeah.
a scorcher out there.
It is. All right, well, it's kind of a long story, so I apologize if it's a bit long-winded. I'm the one that dropped the comment about my husband mentioning accidentally cheating right around our wedding anniversary. Um, Kind of for details, he has two older kids, I have two older kids, and we have a baby together. We met in October 2022, and he wanted me to move in 4 months after we met, and I said, no. At the time, he was wrapping up his divorce from his first ex-wife, which was the first red
Wait,
flag.
so he wasn't fully divorced and he wanted you to move in with him?
Yes,
Okay. But he was separated?
yes.
Okay. Okay.
And she was the one that filed for divorce. They had been together 20 years total, 10 years married. So that's a long time. And for me, prior to him, I had never been married. So, like, I obviously understand that's a long time, but not being in an actual marriage, I guess I was a bit naive to the fact and the magnitude of, like, you shouldn't touch that. Like, run the other direction. Don't talk to him. Like, it was a red flag.
Wait, so why did you
Like,
keep talking to him even though he was going through all this?
honestly, because he had said that, things had been over for a while, they'd been separated for a while, and he was over it. So I was like, okay, well, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, and I guess I'll trust you, and we can see how things go moving forward. We got pregnant pretty quickly. We got pregnant in February, I believe, at the end of February or beginning of March
Wait, so
of
how
2020.
long? Okay, so just so I want to make sure I'm getting every detail. So, how did you guys meet?
Okay, we met online.
So he was on a dating website.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's on a dating website. You guys met, he talked to you, and then y'all dated. And within about 4 months, he was like, I'm ready for you to move in, even though my marriage isn't done. You saw that he was in the process of getting it divorced, he was separated. You said, I don't want to do that because that felt like a little bit too much.
Yeah. Oh, at the time I told him no. I said,
Okay.
absolutely not. I am not doing that. That's is not happening.
Okay. And then after it happened, so when did you get pregnant? Like, if you were at the 4 month mark and he was ready to move in, how long after that did you get pregnant?
Yeah, so we got pregnant in, I believe it was sometime in March of 2023. He proposed to me in May, at the end of May, and it was a 5 hour round trip for me, about 2.5 hours to go see him and 2.5 hours back. And so being pregnant, I just ended up moving up there. I ended up quitting my career, and my two older kids stayed about an hour away in the next town, and I moved about, well, it's more than an hour in traffic, but yeah, anyway, I moved up northwest to go be with him, and I visited my kids on the weekend, which was a mistake
So
on my
hold
part.
on, and I'm sorry to cut you. I just want to make sure I got this because I feel like I'm missing. It's probably me, but just to circle back a little bit. How long after the 4 months did you get pregnant?
So we got pregnant around March.
So how?
I think
So
it was beginning of March.
and when did you guys meet? Like what month did you guys start dating?
Honestly, we had started talking in October, like mid-October 2022. And I think maybe like 4 to 6 weeks after that or something, he had asked me to be his girlfriend or of some significance. And I said, sure.
Wait, so a month or two after you refused to move in with him, y'all got pregnant.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you denied moving in with him, but you guys ended up getting pregnant anyway, about like a month or two after that.
Yep.
Okay. And um so what was his response to finding out? 'Cause-
And also, I wanted to add, like, I made him wait 2 months before we were intimate, but we're both Christian, and I had told him, like, I'd rather wait until marriage, and he could not wait. He pushed me until I finally just gave in. So that was another red flag.
so okay. So he pushed you for intimacy and you gave in and
Yes.
you felt like it was wrong. This also happened while he was still married. When when you got pregnant, when you both got pregnant, I like the way you phrase it.
Thank you.
No problem. Was he still married?
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. He signed his divorce papers the end of February. So, but we were intimate anyway, right?
Okay.
And we found out we were pregnant mid-March.
Okay. So
Yeah.
basically, I guess you could say you conceived while he was at the tail end of his last marriage.
Yes.
Okay. And then by March it was like, okay, here it is. Okay. So just understanding, did you want to get pregnant?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I did. It wasn't, I have two older kids, so I had come to the conclusion that I might never have another baby, but then I met him and I was like, yeah, why not? Which
Okay.
was reckless. That was reckless of me, though, to do so soon.
Why did you do it then?
Um, because something inside me just told me I was going to marry that man,
Okay.
and I felt really safe around him in the beginning. I felt like he understood me in the beginning.
Okay.
It was honestly everything that I'd ever needed and asked for in the beginning until he wasn't.
Okay.
So we got married in December, but like throughout the pregnancy, I started noticing more red flags. Number one would be him drinking constantly and having anger outbursts. Number two, it would be him constantly checking out other women. Number three, I would bring this up to him and I would say, hey, I've noticed you kind of checking out some other women. Like, how does that make you feel? And do you feel like attracted to them? Do you feel like sexually attracted to them? And he said, yes. And I knew that that was a problem. Me personally, I believe in a serious relationship, whether you're engaged or married, you as a man should have more discipline within yourself than to be checking out women right and left.
So I think that he showed a lack of discipline from the beginning.
Yeah.
I would
mean,
say
you're
this,
right.
yeah, this is in full alignment with his character because if he was willing to get with someone that quickly while he was going through a divorce and then put you or try to be intimate with you even though you expressed that you didn't like that and then pushed you for moving in when you said no and then still proceeded to want Because I would say if he's already like this, and of course he wants pregnancy, it sounds like there's a lot of him just kind of like forcing these shots without being concerned about what you want. Like throughout what you've said, I haven't really heard much of, well, he prioritized how I felt and he prioritized what I wanted too. It doesn't sound like there's like a mutual, respect going on here. It's kind of like he wants it his way. And when he doesn't get it, he pushes for it.
Yeah, I mean, for him, he had said I could, I could quit my job. He would take care of me. I could move in up there as long as I took care of his children so he could go to work.
So he basically okay, so he said he wanted you to quit everything you had going on to be with him. And he wanted you to take care of his kids.
Yeah,
Did
correct.
and you were on board with that?
I was until I was more towards like the date that we got married was December 8th, 2023. And our pregnancy was extremely high risk. I had a lot of complications.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. My son had some complications in utero, and I ended up having him via emergency C-section, and he spent 2 weeks in the NICU. Well, and that happened in October, at the end of October, and there's just so much to this. It's a lot to unpack, but anytime we'd fight and have any arguments, he would call his parents and talk to his parents as if he was like telling on me. And that's just a manipulation tactic to have, people on his side and to justify also his wrongdoing or what have you. Which I had a big problem with because I'm like, he's 40 now. He's 40 years old, 40. And I just told him, you're a grown man. Like, why are you calling your parents for every single argument? I understand maybe here and there asking their advice or if we both sat down with them, but why are you calling them every single time something comes up and then talking bad about me behind my back?
Well,
I'm like,
here's what it sounds like to me though, in a bigger scale, right? Is that if I were to think, there was a lot of, he was kind of pushing for you to move quickly, in this arrangement without you giving the 100% validation. When you said no, or when you said you didn't want certain things, he became pushy. And then you felt yourself fall into his pushy side. So
right.
That makes me think there wasn't much consideration for you. And then not taking consideration for you, now there's pregnancy. So he is pretty much getting what he wants regardless now. Because now he's like, oh, literally a month after you denied wanting to move in with him, you find out about pregnancy and he's like, well, you can move in with me and you can take care of the kids. So he gets what he wants anyway. And then, not saying that you didn't want that too, but I'm saying it follows in line with he pushes, you deny, and he tries to find some way to get it anyway. Like you said, even when you didn't want intimacy, he still pushed. So that shows a lack of consideration. So a person that normally has a lack of consideration as a whole typically follows that pattern down the road too. The more that they get from you, the less they consider you. So when he's calling his parents and he's getting validation from them, this is probably where it started.
Yeah, it is. I mean, his parents have always been the one to save him, pull him out of,
there you go,
stuff that's gone on. They've, I mean, if he, since we've been separated, and I'll get to that portion in a minute, but whenever he snaps his fingers, basically, they do a backflip and they're up there to help him with whatever. You know what I mean? So
which probably also, is an influence into why he doesn't like being told no. Because if he has parents his whole life that he's still codependent with, that he goes to about problems with his own relationship, then that probably also adds into when he meets someone and they tell him no, he kind of pushes for that even more so. Because
Yeah, and I
now,
think it's a control. It has to
oh
do
yeah,
with
one hundred
control.
percent a control thing. Yeah, you can't say no. Like that's all your no's are just gonna lead him to try more. Because it's about, for a person like that, it's self-serving. It's about getting what I want, regardless of how it makes you feel. So in that arrangement, it's more about him getting what he wants, even if it means that you're unhappy with the outcome. And then when you complain, he's gonna go to his parents.
Yeah, which was happening. I mean, I witnessed it. Like that's exactly what was happening.
Yep.
And so by the time, after we had our baby, after we were able to bring the baby home, there were times that the baby had to go back to the hospital and whatnot. And, his parents were up there helping, and I'm all for like parents helping during that time. I'm all for like including family, and I think that that's great. But when my husband was more concerned about going to the gym than letting me take a shower or letting me eat, or more concerned about going to the gym than being at the hospital with us, and his parents are the ones that have to tell him, hey, you should probably be more concerned with these other things. It was just ridiculous. So, I was starting to realize like this is going to be me up against my husband and his parents. It's not just me marrying my husband. And so I told him, well, hey, look, like I want to see a premarital therapist, because you have a lot of stuff that's happened in your life. And me personally, I've been abused by men since I was 10 years old. So I said, I have a lot of stuff that will always probably be with me. But, it seems like we might be headed down a rocky road if we don't go to premarital therapy first and work some of this kind of rocky stuff out first so that we can have and enter our marriage like in a more relaxed environment instead of being so high strung, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so what did he say to that?
Absolutely not.
I
He
knew
said
it. I knew he was gonna say no. I
he
knew it.
said, you're gonna marry, like, what do you think you do when you're married? That's what you do when you're married anyway. So he was like, here's the deal. He was like, you can marry me or not, but you're not gonna embarrass me,
Oh boy.
at the at the altar. He said, I will give you X amount of months to figure out whether or not you want to marry me. He said, in fact, I'll give you until the end of December. He was like, if you can't make up your mind by the end of December whether or not you want to marry me, he was like, I'll give you out. He's like, so his parents own the townhouse that he was living in, that I moved up to. He was like, I'll have my parents give you X amount of time to get your stuff together and to get out. He was like, because I'm not going to be strung along, and I'm not going to wait my entire life to go and turn around and marry the next woman.
Wow.
And at
Well,
that
we see
point,
why he's going through a divorce.
yeah. And at that point, I was just like, holy shit. I just had our brand new baby. He's a NICU baby. He's on oxygen at home. I have two older kids, and I'm taking care of his kids. Like, I can't deal with this right now.
So,
So I
so,
married him. Like on top of I
so
wanted to
you
do the right
married
thing
him
for the
after
kids.
he
Yes.
delivered that type of statement. You still married him?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Why did you still
Well,
decide to marry him?
well, number one, I couldn't not have a place to live right after I had a baby and
Okay.
surgery and everything.
Okay. Understandable.
Number two, there were 5 kids that I had to think about. And I was just like, yeah, I need to think about these kids first. And I wanted to do the right thing.
Okay.
But deep down, I knew that it was wrong. I knew that I should have never said yes. So All of the issues persisted. Obviously, he started with, well, you're just insecure. Like, because, I had a lot of I had severe postpartum from October 2023 to October 2024. We had 3 miscarriages after our son, and things just spiraled downward, as to be expected, as I knew they would. And I initiated marital therapy twice, and it was going okay, but my husband kept flat out saying every time I'd have like emotional breakdowns and stuff like that, because he was not emotionally present, and he's not an emotional man.
Yeah.
And he is constantly gone working 14 hours a day as a master diesel mechanic. He's just not there, right? So everything falls on my shoulders to take care of a home, even though that's his job too.
So I have a question. I don't mean to like speed this up or anything, but just curious. Where are you at now? Like, what do you? Because I think all of this led up to the question of how him saying people accidentally cheat in marriages all the time, right?
Yeah. So, in towards November, and I had no plans to separate from him when I did, but there was constant fighting. It wasn't good for the kids. He told me it wasn't his job to take care of me emotionally. I had a mental breakdown. We had lost, had 3 miscarriages, this, that, and the other. I went into like a mental health outpatient treatment because the shit was driving me crazy. And I had just looked at him one day and I said, will you initiate marriage therapy for, like, this was the 3rd time. I just need to know if you'll initiate it. And he was like, no. And I said, well, why not? Because I've initiated it twice prior. And he said, that's not what we agreed to, and I don't have the time to do it.
Okay.
And I said, so we can't like hug this out? He was like, I'm done. He's like, I don't care. And so I said, well, fuck it. I said, I can't keep this marriage alive by myself. This is way too one-sided. I said, you're calling me crazy, insecure. You're not, you don't want to be there for me emotionally. He flat out told me that he doesn't want a woman as emotional as me. He'd rather have a different woman who's less emotional. And no one's ever going to love me and want to put up with the things that I've been through in my life. And so I left right before Thanksgiving. And I didn't have any proper access to any of the financials. I was only allowed to use one of the credit cards. It's a mess. So long story short and fast forward, I separated and I gave him an ultimatum. I said, look, either we separate for a while and we strip our marriage back down to like the studs and the bones, and we visit each other again and rebuild like trust and communication and respect. And, I'll get a job and take care of, part of the bills, and, I'll try to help you out so you don't have the full financial burden of everything. Well, I went up there to visit him for our 1-year wedding anniversary, and we were sitting in the car, and he had said, well, you're just so far away. I'm just afraid that you're going to cheat on me. And I said, why would you be afraid of that if I'm up here trying to repair our marriage? I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. I'm like, I know you've had previous thoughts about seriously cheating on me. I'm like, so, like, do I need to be worried about that? I'm like, because what you just said doesn't even make sense. I'm not cheating on you, Jason. And he said, well, what if you just accidentally cheat? I'm like, well, what do you mean accidentally cheat? Who accidentally cheats? He's like, well, even if you love your wife, you might be the one she might be the one you actually want to be with. One thing leads to another, and you just find yourself in a situation to where you accidentally cheat, and it happens in marriages all the time.
No, he's lying.
And that's when I knew he cheated on me, for one. And then a couple days later, I sent my resume to his email, and he had locked me out of his phone, and he said, I don't want you in my email either. And so I'd sent my resume to his email on our laptop, and I was looking for my resume, and lo and behold, I found like 7 selfies that he took of himself that I never got during this time, that he told me that he was saving them or using them or planning to use them for a dating profile.
We'll see
So after that, I filed for divorce. I'm like, this shit ain't gonna work.
Yeah, I think what happens is based on what everything that you told me and his personality, he's the type of guy that only likes you when you're on his terms. So that's why he pushed so much in the beginning and he pushed past all your boundaries because he was trying to get you under his control. And when you refused or when you showed a boundary, he tried to push it. So then once he finally got you in a way, I wouldn't be shocked if he tried to get you pregnant on purpose just to up the ante, right? So then he made you a deal, and that deal just so happened to be you stay at home, no job, no access to finances, anything. I control everything. After he just got out of a divorce, like literally just got out. And then you get in, all of a sudden now it's on his terms even more. So not once throughout this was I hearing how he considered you. It's always been about how he can have power over you. And when you were talking about what you were going through, like with the pregnancy, all that stuff you went through, and then you had postpartum, and then you tried to talk about therapy, why are you the only one asking about therapy and stuff like that? If he really cared about making it work with you, he would have either initiated it or he would have been the one to say, yes, let's do this because I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing by you. Instead, he was like, you need to be on my terms. We're fine. And then his therapy was going to his parents who just enable him. So I'm not saying that it's like him cheating at some point. I can see him doing that because you were starting to show more resistance. And as you show resistance to him, that's when he's probably looking at, it's like a discard, right? It's like a reverse discard because what you're doing is you're saying, okay, well, I'm going to start to draw a boundary since things aren't going, since you're not being respectful or considerate. He doesn't think, let me work harder for you. He thinks, well, let me go replace you. And then he blames you.
I mean, he flat out told me the work that he does is going to work for 14 hours. He flat out told me he should not be expected to take care of her child. It is not his job to nurture our baby, and he'd rather hire a woman to do it if we were going to get divorced. I honestly should have taken the time to where he kicked all of us out for 2 weeks during the summer as the time to leave him.
Well, I don't think, here's what I would say. If I were you, I would give yourself some grace because you didn't know. There were red flags, but you didn't know he would go this far. And it doesn't sound like you're the type of person that would expect this behavior out of someone. It sounds like you tried to do the best that you could and you tried to love a person that seemed promising. So I think more than anything, I don't want you to feel too hard on yourself because either way, you're still being a good mom. You're still looking out for the kids the best you can. And you're trying to do what you can with the therapy, even though he was inconsiderate. So I think this is an opportunity for you to say, hey, you did your part. And he is just this type of person. He's currently now going through a second divorce. And it's almost like he might as well marry his parents.
Yeah. He told me he wants a woman like his mother who's not emotional and just listens to whatever he says. I'm like, yeah, that's not fucking me.
But here's the thing. He wants a woman that's not emotional, but he's emotional. He's been emotional throughout this whole occasion. Why did he wants things so bad? Is that not an emotional knee-jerk response? Oh, you don't do what I want. Let me push it even more. I feel like you're going to cheat because I'm insecure. Is that not emotional?
Right.
So why is he saying he wants someone that he can't even represent? So you know what he's saying? He's saying that he wants someone that loves him regardless of how bad he is. That's what he's really saying when he says he wants someone like his mom. He wants someone that's going to love him regardless of anything he does and is going to be, oh, boo boo, baby, I still love you. You're still my son. He wants that unconditional, you can do no wrong type of love, only the type of love that a mother can have for her son. And he's saying he wants that from you. He's basically just saying, I want enablement.
Yep.
You.
Well, and with people like this, of course, now everything's been my fault because I filed for divorce. Everything within our marriage was my fault. And he'll go above hell and high water to make sure we are absolutely 100% divorced. But he doesn't want me to move my stuff out of the townhouse. And I'm like, oh, hell no. If once we're divorced, I said I'm getting my crap, as much as I can for me and the kids, and I'm moving it. And whatever I leave behind, you and your kids can have. Like, I'm not going to take, what they truly need away from them, because I have probably like 80 to 85% of everything in there is mine. Because his first ex-wife literally left him with nothing. So, I just told him no. Like, once we get divorced, that's it. And I said, don't try to come back. I'm like, because I know you're talking to other women, and you're gonna. I said I was a gap filler and a placeholder fill it for you. That's all I was.
Yeah, he's just rebounding all over the place. And the thing is, here's what you can also say at this point, like, beyond the potential cheating that you know about and him talking to other girls, he just wasn't considerate from the get-go. And he's also emotionally irrational. So people like that are normally likely to cheat. Because if they don't consider you in the beginning and they're always pushing for what they want, they're at the slightest inconvenience, they're gonna look for someone else to fill that same gap. That's all he's trying to do, is get people to follow along with what he wants, regardless of the expense that they have. I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up with 5 more baby mamas because of this. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't either. And it would make sense for like the larger arguments, like when he kicked us out for 2 weeks. The first thing he was like, did you cheat on me? Oh, no, I didn't cheat on you. He's like, are you sure? You promised you didn't cheat on me? I'm like, no, I didn't cheat on you.
Oh, this dude is highly insecure. That's high insecurity, which is another problem. If he's that insecure, there's nothing you can do to make him feel better. You could have 10 of his babies and he's still going to be like, you sure you don't cheat on me? Like, bruv, I can't even sleep.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I think it's guilt too. I think it's guilt because he's the one cheating.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't think, and as much like I'm with you on the cheating, I don't think the cheating is the biggest problem. I think that's a symptom. The biggest part of this problem is that he is not whole within himself. He is not confident. He's codependent on his parents. Those are way bigger, because that causes him to lie. It causes him to be forceful and inconsiderate, because he's trying so hard to fill this void, and he's now actually looking at the person in front of him. Everybody's just to be used by him. No one's really even a person. So yeah, he's going to do these things, but I don't think that they're going to affect him as much as the bigger picture. And here's why, another reason why I can say this is because I used to be a manipulator, right? But my manipulation came from pure insecurity. So I would look for people to do what I want just to avoid feeling insecure. I needed validation all the time. So I would date someone just so I didn't have to sit alone, because then I felt like a loser. So having someone in my life that wanted me, that was willing to deal with me, made me feel like a winner. It was all about winning. But I missed the point where these are people that we're dealing with. This isn't like a chess game.
Right.
So I never cheated, but I definitely had a similar behavior to him, where I was like pushing to do what I want and to be on my terms. And the more you did what I want and you were on my terms, the worse it got. And then when you tried to leave, I was blaming you for everything. And I would go back to my parents. I would tell only my side of the story. And then they would join in to tell me why I'm right. So I did all these things.
So is that why he's turning around and telling me that anything that comes out of my mouth is for control, which is not. That's not it at all. Like, me wanting access to the financial accounts was because I'm controlling, for
Well, here's the
example.
thing. He doesn't see you the way that you see him. He doesn't see you in a light of a normal person. He sees you as a threat. Because when you're an insecure person, it builds up so much that you start to see everybody as a villain. Anyone that does anything that's not on your terms is a villain. So you could do everything right, and he's still gonna find something because insecurity is perpetuated.
Mm.
So it's not on you, but he is going to blame you because he's insecure.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. Honestly, I'm the one that encouraged him to get therapy, so I really hope that he sticks with that for the sake of our baby boy. But I did get like 75% full custody of our baby boy. And I think by the time mediation's done and the divorce is finalized, that will remain the same. Because in court, he testified to, emotional DV and committing physical DV against his first ex-wife and neglecting our baby. And then he started crying. So yeah, I mean, he admitted to me only one time that he's a broken man, and that's exactly what he is. And I just really hope that he gets help for himself, for all the children involved.
I think you're doing the best that you can. I think right now the best thing you can do is be the one sane parent. And if I were you, I would lose a little bit of any hope that he's going to make changes anytime soon. Because since this is his second marriage, it sounds like he kind of does this. Um, could happen, but I would give it time. I would focus more on myself and getting my mental health stable and just finding a way to gain peace back in my life and taking back my own independence because it sounds like he's looking out for himself and he needs to grow up. I think he needs to grow up.
Me too. That's what I've been telling him, but doesn't matter what I say. But what matters is the children, and what matters are, I can't help his older children, unfortunately, and I've tried, but are my children, and setting the proper example for my children. And I don't want them growing up seeing mom treated like this. It's about breaking the cycle, and they're my future. So giving them what they truly deserve.
I
And
love that.
if I have to do that alone, then I have to do that alone.
Hey, well, I'll tell you what, it's better to have one stable, peaceful parent than to have both of you going at it. So I'm with you there, and the fact that you're thinking so clearly right now and we're able to have this conversation shows that you're taking action and you're level headed. So you're doing an amazing job on your own here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And by the way, I'm going to marriage therapy alone because I want to be the best wife I can be someday for the right man down the road, and the best mother to my children, and just a good peer, a good person. So I'm still working on tackling all of my trauma. I don't think that's ever going to stop, but nothing's going to stop me. I just need to get financially, the financial part worked out, but that'll come.
Well, I love to hear it, and I appreciate you spending time with me today. You got support from all of us.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking my call and hearing me out, and I appreciate all the support. Thank you.
No problem. I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, back to Instagram. Whew. How's it going, y'all? We went through 2 calls today. Y'all still riding with me on here? What's going on? What's going on? That was a lot of wheels. Y'all got more questions for me? Hey, yo. I'm so glad I have this setup now where I can talk to people and talk to you guys at the same time. I love this. Ready, okay. So for those of you that want to work with me directly, and you want to do one-on-one sessions, you want to figure out how to get in touch with me, go ahead and type ready in my DMs. Go to my DMs and type the word #ready, and you will get reached out to with the details. But if you got more questions, hit me and let me know. I'm gonna be here for the next 10 minutes or so. I don't know, how long have I been on here? This was great, going swimming. Paula, come jump in. Wait, do y'all live near each other? I still like your eyes. Thank you. When women, what do you do when dating feels so hopeless? You can admit your issues, but men don't. My dating life has been hell. I've been hurt in every way so deeply by too many. Is it even possible? Being an autistic woman. Good question. I'm listening. You're from Croatia. Let's go, Croatia. An hour and some change. Please call you. Oh man, I think I might need a break from another call. I will be on here all night. So let me see. What's tomorrow? Sunday? I might have to do this again tomorrow. I'm gonna link it again tomorrow, and we'll do this again, and that'll be fun for us. But like I said, if you want to work with me one-on-one, if you want to become an official person that works with me, go ahead and send me the word, the #ready. See, like my brain is starting to mess up. #ready to my DMs, and we'll be good. You are an excellent coach. Thank you. Thank you so much. And by the way, let me see, yes. Thank you so much for that. Katrina, good to see you, girl. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close out. I will see you next time. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, everybody.